Hey everybody, welcome to Matt's Metal Show. What are we talking about today? Usually John Raw. Woo! I always do that backwards. Shut. Maybe I should look down. Got a little Yuli going on. Oh yeah. I was doing that Van Halen thing yesterday. I'll put it out today. A little update on the Van Halen celebration where Wolfgang had to open his big fucking mouth and add his 2 cents into there. And I started thinking about it, and one of the questions I wanted to ask everybody, and you can chime in, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave fucking comments. If they do this Van Halen celebration that is in the works, we don't know how far into the works it is. There's been some names thrown around. Joe Satriani is on board, obviously. Alex Van Halen, Dave Lee Roth, right? Even though Dave was supposed to be retired, right? He had given everything he could give. Guess he changed his mind. Some names thrown around. Michael Anthony. Dave mentioned Michael, so maybe Michael's involved with this, hopefully, because that would be cool. But I started to think about it, and it's like, well, is Sammy Hagar going to be involved? And then the big question is should Sammy Hagar be involved? And I know there's going to be like a divided camp on should he be involved? Should he not be involved? Is Wolfgang involved? Obviously not, because he seems kind of pissy about it. So now, right before COVID hit, before Eddie took a turn for the worst, back in, January of 2020? 2020, yeah, right? They were talking about this big Van Halen, throwing everything with the kitchen sink, right? They were talking about doing this monster tour where they would get every piece of Van Halen they could together and go out on this monster tour of stadiums and shit like that. And then, of course, Eddie took a turn for the worse. And we ended up losing Eddie in October. But before COVID sunk its claws into the country, this was kind of a thing, right? I don't know how far it had gotten, but Wolfgang confirmed it. But shit started just going bad for Eddie, and he declined, and then, we lost him. But and they were talking about a tour with Dave Lee Roth, with Michael Anthony, like Wolfgang would play bass, Gary Sharon would be involved, fucking Sammy Hagar, just the whole fucking spectacle of Van Halen in all its fucking incarnations, right? And then, of course, that didn't happen. We lost Eddie. And then now, here it is in April of 2022. And they're talking about this Van Halen celebration show where Dave and Michael, apparently, because Dave mentioned him, and Alex would be involved. But there's no mention of Sammy Hagar. And now I know some people out there are going to be like, well, Sammy should be involved. He was in Van Halen, a big part of Van Halen, right? What's your view on that? Put it in the comments. I'll give you my view because I don't give a fuck. So, of course, I'm going to fucking spout off. But when I was a kid, I saw Van Halen on the 1984 tour here at the sports arena, and it was fucking mind-blowing. It was a huge spectacle. Was it like a perfect show, or it was just, no, man, it was like a free-for-all, kind of. They were just all over the place, having a blast, and it was just a fucking great show. Like about a year later, they were on hiatus, and Dave Lee Roth wanted to be a movie star. He wanted to go make a movie. And I don't think the Van Halen crew was all down for that. I can't remember if like I know Dave came out with Crazy from the Heat, right? Came out with the little EP. Had Coconut Grove on it, which is a fucking great song. It had Just a Gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the hard card Dave's playing. Pay for every dance, selling each romance. Ooh, what they're saying. There will come a day when youth will pass away. What will they say about you? You know, it had California Girls, and it had, what was that other song? I always fucking draw a blank on that other song. Because, the two videos were Just a Gigolo and I Ain't Got Nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody. I'm so sad and low. It was a cover tune, so Dave wasn't suicidal. Even though that song could legitimately be fucking autobiographical. And Easy Street, right? Easy Street. So that came out in 1985, and it was a huge success because it was on MTV. Dave and Pete Angelis got to do their little weird vision of weirdness. And then Van Halen, now, I guess it's who you ask, Dave moved on. Dave said he moved on. He said they were standing still and he was on the escalator moving away from them. Because I guess they wanted to take some time. Those guys have been touring and putting out albums since 1977, right? 77 was when Gene Simmons got involved and got him, to record a fucking demo, and then they had to record another demo for fucking Warner Brothers, and then like all that, and then fucking Van Halen, the first one came out in 78, and man, they hit the ground running. Plus, they played in clubs like 5 nights a week, like 3 sets a fucking night. I mean, they put in their fucking time. There was a point where they were just burned out, and they wanted to take time, but Dave's not that guy, He doesn't have a family to fucking go back to. He's fucking, the ultimate bachelor. So they split ways. But Dave, Dave kind of was, I want to say like Dave was nudging Van Halen to be like, oh yeah? Well, look what I'm doing. I'm being successful. Because he was. Dave left and he was being successful. Fucking Crazy from the Heat EP was successful. It was fucking played all over fucking MTV, which was a big deal back then, I remember seeing those videos like every minute of the fucking day. They were grandiose and fucking crazy, and and it kind of led to the next evolution, which was Eat 'Em and Smile, where they continued to get crazier and more grandiose. And, Easy Street was Dan Hartman, but who sang that originally? Edgar Winter. Oh, the Edgar Winter group was Easy Street. Wow. Coconut Grove is such a great song. I love that fucking song. From Love and Spoonful. The Nomad Hatters. Edgar Winter actually fucking played on this, right? He played keyboards, synthesizer, saxophone, and backing vocals on tracks 1, 2, and fucking 3. So fucking Edgar Winter was up in there. Woo! Enter Van Hagar. Now I can remember when I was a fucking kid. You were like, fuck, Dave Lee Roth not in fucking Van Halen. And all of a sudden Van Halen comes out and they're like, oh, we got fucking Sammy Hagar as our new fucking singer. I can tell you from my point of view, I was not impressed. Nobody that I knew was this big fucking Sammy Hagar fan. I mean, we'd all heard like little fucking bullshit that Sammy had done, you know. I can't drive 55. I mean, Sammy Hagar wasn't this huge star. Like, nobody that I knew in my personal circle was like, oh, dude, I fucking love Sammy Hagar. He did that shit with what? HSAS with fucking Neil Sean and what, Kenny Aronson, right? And I don't know who was the other S? HSAS. You know, he had done like some kind of super group kind of shit. You know, and that stuff was cool, but I was never fucking full on into it. I wasn't like, oh my fucking god. That's a great album though, Shreve, right? Shreve was the other guy. Michael Shreve was the drummer for Santana. Yeah. HSAS. What year was that? That came out in 84, right? You know, but Sammy Hagar wasn't on our fucking radar. I mean, you know, I Can't Drive 55 was a big video on MTV. They used to play it all the fucking time, you know? So that was a big deal. But at the same time, I've seen interviews where Sammy's like, oh, I was playing the same places that, you know, fucking Van Halen was playing. You're like, yeah, as an opening band. You weren't fucking headlining the Garden, fucker. Like, really? Over the years, I haven't softened on Sammy Hagar. I've just kind of more discovered him. I never hated Sammy Hagar. I just wasn't interested enough to like go seek him out. And that was the thing about Sammy Hagar was like, to me as a kid, like he wasn't interesting. He certainly wasn't fucking David Lee Roth. I mean, David Lee Roth was this huge fucking personality, this fucking huge rock star. Like when you looked up rock star in the fucking dictionary, David Lee Roth's fucking picture was right there. Sammy Hagar's was not. Sammy Hagar was this curly hair, and he always wore this weird mic, you know, like he was taking off in a spaceship. He always had the color red because that was like his color, the red rocker. I mean, he always had all these little gimmicks. David Lee Roth just rolled in wearing whatever the fuck he was wearing, and he was just a fucking rock star. Sammy Hagar needed help. Maybe it's because Sammy Hagar is like 5'2" or something. I don't know. He makes Michael Anthony look tall. So when Van Hagar hit the scene with 5150, it was a fucking huge album. It was fucking huge. But was it like huge because it was popular and it was like, oh, people were still rolling off the fucking popularity of 1984, which sold 10 million fucking copies? I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, because when you listen to 5150, and I can tell you, until the day like I rolled up and like actually went to the show and saw them play back in 86, like in the middle, like it was in like June or July. I didn't even own that album. That was one of those quick buy albums that I bought just so I wouldn't be standing in the fucking arena looking around while they were singing songs I had no fucking idea, you know, what they were. I had a little bit more time with OU812 when I saw them at the Monsters of Rock, but you could look at it, people will go, well, you know, they were just as successful with Sammy, and actually you could say more so. So the first Van Halen album sold 10 million copies in America. The Van Halen 2 is 5 times platinum. Women and Children First is 3 times platinum. Fair Warning is 2 times platinum. Diver Down is 4 times platinum. And then fucking 1984 is 10 times platinum. So, you know, Fair Warning's like the low man on the totem pole, right? But then with Sammy Hagar, you got 5150 was 6 times platinum. OU812 was 4 times platinum. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was 3 times platinum. And Balance was 3 times platinum. And then Van Halen 3 went gold. And A Different Kind of Truth did nothing. So you can say, well, what was the success after David Lee Roth left? Was it because Sammy Hagar was this fucking amazing frontman? He was the next fucking rock star. He stepped right into fucking Dave's shoes and was like, oh, look at me, I'm fucking Sammy Hagar. I didn't get that fucking vibe. I got Van Halen went pop. Which is, kind of what they were gearing up for anyways. 1984 had a lot of keyboards and stuff on it. Eddie always played keyboards. He always wanted to play keyboards. If you go back and listen to the demos, like from 77 and shit, Eddie played keyboards. Fucking House of Pain from 1984 was on their fucking demo back in 77. So, and the Cradle Will Rock was a fucking Wurlitzer fucking electric piano run through a fucking phase shifter. It was like, Eddie wanted to play keyboards, but it was kind of downplayed. Ted Templeman was like, you're a rock star. You're a fucking guitar player. And the same with David Lee Roth. You're a fucking guitar player. We don't want some keyboards. But then Jump came out, and everybody was kind of happy with Eddie standing there playing, it was kind of cool. So when 5150 came out, there was a fuck ton of keyboards. But you can listen to the change, and it was like this, dude. Here's Van Halen standing right there in the middle, and then I would argue that the albums that they did with Sammy Hagar, which I have them, I would argue, obviously, they're not anywhere in the fucking echelon of fucking being as classic as the first 6 Van Halen albums. Even fucking Diver Down, and everybody has this newfound love for Diver Down because it's nostalgic. In 82, I think that was the first Van Halen album I ever really heard, because I was 12, 13 years old when it came out. So that was when I got into Van Halen, was fucking Diver Down. Is it one of my favorite Van Halen albums? Not my favorite, not close. I was watching the guy today, and he actually put it as number 3 on his list of the David Lee Roth albums. Diver Down. But that's nostalgia talking, man, and that's why music is subjective. Now, I know there's a ton of fucking people out there that bought fucking Van Halen albums, right? Bunch of people fucking bought Van Halen albums when Sammy Hagar was in the fucking band. Obviously, they sold fucking a shit ton of fucking albums, right? Let's do the fucking math here. So with Dave, they sold 20, 25, 28, 30, 34 million albums. In America, with David Lee Roth, from 1978 to 1984, they sold like 34 million albums. With Sammy Hagar, from 1986 to 1995, they sold 16 million albums. So you can say, now I know all those albums didn't certify diamond like the year they came out. I get that. I understand that. It took years and years and years for them to hit diamond because we've all bought that album. We've all bought Van Halen in fucking 1984 like 10 fucking times, because it's been remastered and shit like that. I get that. But at the same time, 35 million in America versus 16 million. 4 albums versus 6 albums. I don't know if you call Diver Down an album, but yeah, it's an album, I guess. 85% cover tunes, but cool. But is Sammy Hagar era fucking Van Halen fucking relevant? And that's the thing. I'm sure there's a lot of fucking like casual, and that was the thing is like Van Halen when they had David Lee Roth wasn't a casual fucking band. I mean, everybody fucking loved them. Fucking loved Eddie, loved fucking Alex, loved fucking Michael Anthony. Like, they loved them. When Van Hagar hit, It was all about Eddie. It was. What, you think people are showing up to the shows because they're huge fucking Sammy Hagar fans? Well, then tell me what changed. Because from the time leading up to him joining Van Halen, why wasn't Sammy Hagar this huge, monstrous fucking star? Why wasn't he selling 10 million copies of his album? Let's see what fucking Sammy Hagar albums fucking sold. Let's check it out. Because Sammy says he was this huge fucking star when he fucking joined Van Halen. He was playing all the fucking same shows. There's no fucking way. Arguably, Sammy Hagar's best album is the album with Montrose, right? The first one. And it's fucking amazing, right? And it went platinum. It went platinum. So Montrose went platinum. Standing Hampton in 1982 went platinum. Three Lock Box went gold. VOA went platinum. And that was it. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums that he was on in a row since the first Mantra album. 6 albums in a row from 1974 to 1980 that didn't even, to this day, didn't even fucking certify. And then you got a platinum album with Standing Hampton, which is a cool album. I have it. Three Lock Box went gold. Three Lock Box. Three Lock Box. It's a fun album. And then VOA, of course, went platinum because of MTV and because of the fucking single I Can't Drive fucking 55. Hagar, Sean, Aronson, and Shreve didn't certify. And then he goes into fucking Van Halen, and he's 6 times fucking platinum, but he comes out with his solo album, which Eddie played on. Eddie played bass on his fucking solo album. It went gold. So that there, right there, that tells you people were not fucking dying to fucking worship Sammy Hagar. And there's a reason for that, because when you listen to the catalog, when you put up David Lee Roth era Van Halen versus Sammy Hagar, Van fucking Van Halen, the fucking distance is fucking light years away. Because, yeah, there's some fun songs on 5150. You know, years later, after I calmed down a little bit, when I wasn't a fucking teenager anymore, I don't mind that album. I listened to the fuck out of it. It was fun, but it's kind of empty. It's empty. Eddie doesn't have this killer fucking tone on it. It's not blowing you the fuck away. It's a bunch of keyboards, Sammy Hagar. They're coked out of their fucking skulls, so that's kind of cool. You know? I probably got in more into OU812 because I had a little bit more time with it. I bought it. And like months before I actually saw them at the Monsters of Rock, and I thought that was a pretty good album. Had some fun stuff on it. But I was never, and even to this day, I was never like, oh fuck, man, I love the fucking Van Hagar era fucking, you know, Van Halen. You know, it was successful for what it was, but they also, you got to remember, they had MTV behind them like 100%. So it was kind of a different. Before that, before like up to 1984, obviously 1984, MTV was really big in that, you know, helping that album along. But before that, didn't really have MTV, and they still were selling millions and millions of copies of their albums. So it's totally 2 different eras. We're talking about mid 80s into the early 90s. You know, I mean, you have fucking. Obviously on 5150, which was the big one, 6 million copies, because, dude, it was plastered all over fucking MTV. They were playing the live show, Live Without a Net, on fucking MTV. MTV was like sucking their dick, but they were also sucking David Lee Roth's dick too, because, dude, Eat 'Em and Smile, they were playing those videos left and right. Yankee Rose, I saw that video so many fucking times, I was like, holy shit, you know, going crazy. Now, for me, when I listened to it and when they broke it, they did the split, I fucking love the Daily Raw stuff because the Daily Raw stuff sounded more like Van Halen. It was fun. It was playful. There were some covers. There was some fun guitar. Billy Sheehan kind of added that extra level over Michael Anthony because you really don't hear Michael Anthony that often. Fucking Greg Bissonette, just fucking great drummer from the fucking Maynard Ferguson Big Band. That's 22 guys up there with a little schlep in the back going, follow me, follow me. All right. Going blueberry today. So people might ask, should Sammy Hagar be involved? Is it like blasphemy that Sammy Hagar's not involved? No. Sammy Hagar shouldn't be involved because the classic Van Halen with David Lee Roth from the first album to 1984 is fucking untouchable. It is. It really is. Even Diver Down, which I saw a guy today, he was ranking Diver Down. Diver Down used to be my least favorite Van Halen album. When I was 13, it was fucking awesome. But then 1984 came out, and I totally forgot about fucking Diver Down because Diver Down is chock full of intros and fucking cover tunes, right? It's like 30-something minutes long. It's very short. Even though it says it has 12 songs, it really doesn't. Where have all the good times gone by the Kings? It's a fucking great song. I love that song, and I love their version. Hang 'em High is one of my absolute fucking favorite Van Halen songs. It is. 1 Ear to the Road. He's listening to the Dead. Oh, fuck. Cathedral is volume swells that goes into Secrets. It's one song. They just split it so they could call it two different songs. Maybe make the record-buying public say, oh, look how many songs are on here. Because really, if you cut out all the intros, take away 1, 2, 3, Sound had 9 songs on it. It really did. Secrets is great. It's a great fucking song. I love it. Fucking great song. Intruder is just Eddie fucking around. It's kind of like Tora Tora. It's just the intro to Oh Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison. It's a great cover of that. And I'd rather hear the Van Halen version than the Roy Orbison version anyways. I know that's blasphemy, but they do Dancing in the Streets, which I love it. It's great. It's fun. It's fun, man. We'll be dancing in the streets. Now, years later, David Bowie and fucking Mick Jagger would fucking ruin that song for me forever because I fucking hate that version. Even though I love Bowie and I love Jagger, but together, wow, you would have expected them to do something way more fucking cool than Dancing in the fucking Street. Little Guitars is just the intro to Little Guitars, which is a great fucking song. It's fucking great, man. Big Bad Bill is Wee William now. Oh, yeah. He's doing the dishes, mopping up that floor. That little Jan Van Halen, right? Playing some fucking clarinet on there. He's missing a fucking finger, but Eddie's like, dude, come play on our fucking album, man. Come jam out with us. And he did. And it was fucking cool. The Full Bug, it's a fucking great song. What I need, the best part of a man, yeah. And then Happy Trails, man. Little fucking Dale Evans, little bombadita, bombadita, bombadita. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Usually they were drunk as fuck when they did this. Now, this was on the fucking 77 demos from fucking Warner Brothers. They toyed with Happy Trails for years before this came out on an album. So there was nothing new here. Now, you gotta remember when Van Halen started out, back in their club days, dude, they knew like 100 fucking songs because they played in fucking clubs where you had to play top 40 and they had to know all these fucking songs from all kinds of genres. They played fucking Smoke on the Water and then they'd play like dance the night away. You know, they would, you know, Jungle Boogie. Fuck, man. I have a bunch of live old club shit where they fucking jam out and they play all kinds of shit, man, behind blue eyes, right? Van Halen, the first 6 albums, even Diver Down. I mean, I love most of the songs on here, but ranked against the other albums, it doesn't compare because half the shit's not theirs. And I think that's the only thing with Diver Down is like, dude, it's a fun album. I don't mind popping it on and listening to it, but it's like my least favorite of the David Lee Roth era because of what is on those other albums. Those songs just kind of blow away like some cover tunes that they did, you know. It's like, oh, do I want to listen to Oh Pretty Woman or do I want to listen to Atomic Punk? Let me figure that one out, you know. They're great songs though. It's a great album. It's just not my favorite of the David Lee Roth era. My least favorite of the David Lee Roth era. But the Sammy Hagar albums, dude, you gotta understand, like, there is nothing on those Sammy Hagar albums that even touches the David Lee Roth shit. That stuff was all fresh, new, crazy, awesome, mind-blowing. Eddie's fucking most most spontaneous fucking work that he ever did was on those first 6 albums. I would say on the first 4, really. If you were going to argue, I'd say they're on the first 4. You could say maybe the first 5 now. You gotta remember, the first 5 albums were recorded at Sunset Sound, right? Only 1984 was recorded at 5150. And, you know, Ted Templeman was totally against it because he lost control. In Sunset Sound, he had control. At Eddie's house, in his backyard, he had no control. And he was kind of against them recording 1984, but every Van Halen album after after fucking Diver Down was recorded at 5150 Eddie's home studio. And you could say that's kind of where Van Halen started going downhill. Really. I mean, musically. Now, 1984 is a great fucking album, but really if you tack it up against, you know, the first 4 Van Halen albums, it's fun, but it's a poppy kind of polished fucking album. And that was what was amazing about those first 4 Van Halen albums. They weren't very polished. I mean, they were and they were. Van Halen, the first album, dude, that was a polished album. Those songs had been hand-selected from the demo tapes that they did with Gene Simmons, the demo tapes they did with fucking Warner Brothers. Those songs were carefully fucking selected for what they were going to put on that album. You know, there's a fucking shit ton of songs that they did for Warner Brothers. I mean, there's there's 26 fucking songs they did with Warner Brothers back in 77. 26 songs. How many songs are there on Van Halen, first album? 11 songs. So less than half, right? Do the math. The David Lee Roth stuff, everybody has a fondness for. That is a Van Halen fan. I've never met a Van Halen fan that said, dude, I only love the Sammy Hagar stuff. I'm sure there's some out there. Because, dude, if you were like me, if you were 16 when this fucking album came, when 5150 came out, and you discovered Van Halen for the first time because you were, like, blown away by fucking 5150, I can understand why that would be your favorite era of fucking Van Halen. But when I put him up against the David Lee Roth stuff, the Sammy Hagar stuff doesn't hold up. It's just a bunch of pop songs. There's nothing on any of those fucking albums that just blows me away. But when you listen to the first 6 Van Halen albums, there's something on each of those albums that you're just like, holy shit, you know? Especially the first 4 because they were really raw. They felt like they were live in the studio. They were fucking up and they left it on there because it was fun. But then, like, they just kind of went. It was like, dude, first band Original Van Halen was all over the fucking place. Sammy Hagar just went in a straight line. There was nothing mystifying. There was nothing daring about those albums. Yeah, they were cooked out of their mind on fucking 5150, and they were singing, like, on the inside, they were like, dude, give me the lines, you know, they were being all goofy and laughing and doing a bunch of crazy shit, but it was like, but you guys weren't daring anymore. You guys were boring at that point. Van Halen was fucking Diet Coke, man. They were fucking... Sure, Eddie was still cool and shit. He was playing a Steinbrenner, you know, with no body, no neck, smoking a cigarette, wearing a neckerchief, wearing, you know, teal fucking parachute pants. Sammy Hagar had the fucking weird fucking eraser head hair with his little Houston, we have a problem fucking little mic rocking out on his guitar with Eddie. You know, but they weren't dangerous. That was the thing. Van Halen was dangerous when they had David Lee Roth. They were dangerous. You never knew what they were going to do. David Lee Roth was coked out of his fucking skull, banging every chick he could fucking find, you know, just, they were fucking rock stars. And then they became like kindergartners. You know, Sammy was trying to be dirty, but it's like, dude, this is bubblegum. They became bubblegum. They really did. I know people are going to freak out, but dude, listen, from 5150 on, it was bubblegum, dude. What song off of any of those fucking albums, put it in the comments, tell me I'm fucking crazy, but what song off of anything from 5150 on blew your fucking mind as a Van Halen fan? I don't think Sammy Hagar should be involved because those albums, they don't really mean anything. In the context of when Eddie was still alive, it would have been kind of amazing to see different sets from different eras of the band. But like, what, you think they're going to pull out a little or a different kind of Truth? Do you think they're going to pull that album out and put that on the roster and call Wolfie up and tell him to come play boring ass bass licks? I don't think so. So, Sammy Hagar should sit home and enjoy his money that he earns. The guy's such a whore. You know, I follow him on Instagram. I don't mind Sammy Hagar. I've got a bunch of his albums. I've got not the Circle, but I have the Chicken Foot stuff with Joe Satriani. I don't mind Sammy Hagar. I have the HSAS album. It was recorded like live. It was fucking great. But he's such a whore, man. You know? Sammy Hagar is a fucking total just... The reason why Sammy Hagar has so much fucking money, he's worth like more than $100 million, because he's a fucking whore, dude. He fucking sold his beach rum. He sold all this, you know, he does all this fucking shit. But every time you see him, he's always like hawking something. He's like, oh, hi, I'm Sammy Hagar. Oh, dude, did you buy this new Sammy Hagar flavored Red Bull? You know? Sometimes I just fucking go, dude, fuck, man. Dude, you got enough money to last you for the rest of your motherfucking life and your kids' lives and their kids' lives and their kids' lives. You got a ton of fucking money, dude. Stop hawking shit at me. He's always like, he's got that weird speaker thing and he's like hawking that. And he's always, or he's always like driving along somewhere and he sees like one of those liquor trucks and it has like beach bum rum on it. So he's like, oh, look, they're delivering the good stuff. Or he goes into, you know, it's totally fake, but he just goes and hangs out in a liquor store and the guy's buying something. He goes, why are you buying this? Why are you buying this? In fact, I'll buy it for you. I'll buy 2 of them for you. And it's like, dude, you're such a fucking Jesus. Dude, go hang out with fucking Guy Fieri and just live in Maui. And he's showing pictures of himself on the plane. Because Sammy Hagar wants you to know that he has a fucking private plane that he flies all over the place in. He wants you to know that. He's kind of a show-off. Probably because he's fucking 3 feet tall. Maybe he's got that little man syndrome where he has to fucking feel like he needs to fucking impress you. I'm already impressed, Sammy. You're worth like $140 million or some shit like that. You know, let it go, dude. You don't see David Lee Roth showing what he's flying in. You know why? Because he's fucking David Lee. Even now, he's fucking David Lee Roth. You know, he didn't need to tell you what his car looked like or his fucking plane or hawk some. Well, Dave's gotten into it, hawking like fucking, you know, tattoo gel and shit because he's old and, you know, he needs. I don't know what he needs the money for. It's like, dude, you're not gonna live forever. I don't know how much more money you need. I'm sure you made some serious cash on those later Van Halen tours. They were some of the highest grossing tours of the year, you know. Anyways, we'll see what this thing, if it comes to fruition. I know it's all over the fucking internet. Everybody's chiming in on blah, blah, blah. I would just like to see, like, who, you know, who shows up and what it's all about and how big this thing would be. I mean, are they going to do a fucking stadium tour or is this going to be like a little club show? You know, I don't know, you know. Obviously, they have the money to back it. But I know Wolfie can stay his fat ass home and write his new fucking Mammoth WVH album. And Sammy can stay home and mix margaritas and get his hair frosted. He always shows you like he's getting his hair dyed. He's an old man, dude. You're like, dude, you're an old man. Like, move on. You're not a big, huge rock star. You never were. Even in Van Halen. Rock star. David Lee Roth. Now he's a crazy old weird man, but whatever. Boom. Yeah. Today's album of the episode, I was perusing, and I was like, what am I going to do today? Yesterday I did, or last episode I did, Women and Children First from Van Halen, but I kind of wanted to veer away from Van Halen. Should I do 5150? Oh, well, I'll probably do it. Today I did Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. Now, Sin After Sin is one of my least favorite of the original kind of era Judas Priest albums. Came out on April 8th, 1977. Gave it a couple listens this morning. Popped it on. And I said, why do I not love this album? Roger Glover from Deep Purple was called in to produce this. Now, you got to understand, this is the first album after they broke free from Gull Records. CBS gave him a contract. They actually gave him $60,000, which back in 77 was a bunch of money, right? They actually gave him a budget to make this album. They recorded it at the Battersea. You know that? Look on the cover of Pink Floyd Animals, and you'll know what Battersea is, right? The studio was owned by The Who, actually. So they go into the studio and they wanted to produce it themselves because they were so unhappy with what Gull Records just totally fucked them. And they had to give those two Gull Record recordings away and any other subsequent recordings that were involved with those first two albums. So the original version of Diamonds and Rust, Gull Records owned that. So the record company was like, no, you can't produce it yourself. So they call in Roger Glover from Deep Purple, and they're like, he'll produce it for you. And after like a couple of days, they fired Roger Glover. They're like, fuck you. Kicked him to the curb. And then they plowed on without Roger Glover. And guess what? They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And so they ended up calling Roger Glover back and rehiring him. But at that point, they only had 6 fucking days left to record this album. So it's kind of funny. Now, originally, Alan Moore was the drummer who had been on fucking, Sad Wings of Destiny. But they were kind of unhappy with him. They were like trying to like change their sound and be a little bit more progressive, a little bit more, whatever. And so they ended up shit canning him. And they called in Simon Phillips to come play on the album. Simon Phillips is this fucking studio drummer, this fucking hired gun. And I will tell you, out of the one thing about this album, and there's some great songs on here, so don't get me wrong, Simon Phillips is fucking awesome on this fucking album. I think people forget about his performance. Remember he played on Michael Schenker's first album, his first solo album, first MSG album, the Michael Schenker Group. He played with Pete Townsend a bunch, right? On those Pete Townsend solo albums, you know, all the cowboys have Chinese eyes and shit like that, right? Dude, he's phenomenal on here. He plays some fucking great shit. Now, he couldn't join the band. They wanted him because they were like, dude, you make us way better, you know? And that's what happens when you take a really phenomenal musician and you throw it in a band that's still kind of trying to figure their shit out. It makes them try harder because they're kind of looking at that guy going, fuck, he is good. I better be good too, and maybe try a little harder and do things that you normally wouldn't do. And they did a lot of things that they normally wouldn't do on this album. But they wanted him, and he had other commitments, so he couldn't join Judas Priest. So they ended up getting Les Binks. And he played on the tour, and he played all the fucking Simon Phillips shit fucking pretty awesome. So they were happy with that. And, of course, Les stayed, right? For a bit. Albums opens up with Sinner. Sinner. Fucking love Sinner, right? Sacrifice to vice or die by the hand of the sinner. Sinner. I can't sing fucking Halford. I just can't. My voice isn't. It's a fucking, you know, it's a staple Judas Priest song. Fucking Sinner. Fucking love it. Sinner. Diamonds and rust. Now, they recorded this Joan Baez song before, and Gold Records got to keep that version. So, Roger Glover was like, yeah, do it again, dude. Fuck it. They might even play it on the fucking radio, and they did. This was the first Judas Priest song that actually got radio airplay. So, like, you know, win-win, right? And Joan Baez actually liked it. She thought it was cool as shit, because it is a fucking great version of her fucking song. And the cool thing about Judas Priest was every time they did like a cover version, they kind of made it their own and kind of made it, you know, and most people over the years, you know, because nobody looks at shit, you know, they all thought it was a fucking Judas Priest song. We knew. Because, you know, secretly a huge fucking Joan Baez fan, man. Joan Baez. Starbreaker! Starbreaker's awesome. It's the first track on this album where KK had writing credits on this one. He had writing credits on 3 of the 8 songs. That was kind of what I was saying on my Judas Priest show way back. Is like, up until like British Steel, like KK didn't write a ton of shit. You know, because they had broken up credits, and I think there was a certain point where they all signed a deal probably because of money. We all know that money will break up a band faster than fucking syphilis. After British Steel was like everything was fucking Halford, Tipton, and Downing. Every fucking song. It was like it was kind of like Van Halen, where every fucking song was written by all the members of the band. You're like, no, I'm pretty sure it's not. What the fuck did Alex Van Halen write? You know, it was like Black Sabbath did the same thing. Fuck did Ozzy write? The harmonica part on fucking The Wizard. That was pretty cool though. Early morning, clouds in the sky. Without warning, the wizard walks by. Oh, Starbreaker! It's fucking an awesome song. I fucking love that song. These first 3 songs on the album, man, with the cover, and then the 2, like Sinner and Starbreaker, they were catchy. They had lyrics that you could get into. And then they hit Last Rose of Summer. Now, I don't mind Last Rose of Summer now, because I get it. You know, they were trying to be like multifaceted. They were trying to show different textures of the band. You know, they weren't just gonna roll in and they wanted to show you that they could write a beautiful song. It was fucking boring. Yeah. And sometimes when Halberd wrote lyrics, they were dead on, like Sinner and fucking Starbreaker. And then sometimes the lyrics were like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, and that's the thing about songs is if you write lyrics that aren't memorable or don't make any fucking sense, the kids aren't going to remember it, and then the album's not, or the song is not going to be successful, and therefore the album is not going to be successful. Kind of a formula there. Great music doesn't necessarily transcend shitty lyrics, you know, so Let Us Pray, Call for the Priest. Another song that KK helped write with Glenn and Rob. And fucking Simon's drumming on this fucking song is fucking amazing. This is a standout track for fucking Simon's drumming. It's fucking awesome. The lyrics. Now, there's a couple of points on this album where you think, like, especially now because you know, but like back in the day, if you were like snooping, you would definitely see some signs that Rob was gay. He kind of hid little breadcrumbs in the fucking lyrics of his songs. And most people didn't even notice because they weren't thinking that. But, dude, when you listen to Call for the Priest, he's like, the first priest I don't have to fall down for on my knees and pray. And, like, you listen to some of the other stuff, he said, like, I know where to get it and all this. They're like, okay. But overall, like, if you take all the lyrics, you can pop them up and read them. They make no fucking sense. It's a fucking choppy, lyrically, it's a choppy song. Musically, it's fucking great, man. But lyrically, it's not memorable. It's fucking weird and not one of my favorites. And then the next song, Raw Deal. Now, that supposedly is the song that everybody said Rob's the coming out song, that this was for gay rights and blah, blah, blah. Now, Rob didn't come out of the closet until 1996, I want to say. This album came out in 77, so 19 years later. I mean, I knew Rob was gay when I was in high school. I was like, that guy's gay. Don't care. Rob's sexual preference, I don't give a fuck. That's Rob. He's fucking amazing. Don't care. Some people care. They're like, oh, yeah, they're closed-minded and they're idiots. Raw Deal is another fucking song that, like, it's kind of cool. It's got some cool music to it. Simon's fucking drumming is great. The lyrics. So, he drinks a bourbon in a nightclub on Fire Island, and then he gets raped by a bunch of dudes. I mean, that's, if you read the fucking lyrics, you're just like, first of all, like, towards the end, they don't make any fucking sense at all. Like, at all. Especially the last line that Rob wails. What is the last line? It was fucking crazy. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, there's lines like, I made a spike about 9 o'clock on a Saturday. All eyes hit me as I walked into the bar. Inside them, the guys were fooling in the denim dudes. A couple cards played, rough stuff, New York, Fire Island. I cased the joint, straining at the scenes. And then he moseyed up to the counter, and the tender came a grinning. I snapped a smile off his face and scowled, give me a bourbon. And then after that, it's like total madness. The last line of the song, which Rob absolutely fucking wails, says, nightmare, just a bunch of goddamn rotten, steaming raw deal. I don't know. It sounds like Rob was raped in a gay bar because he got drunk. That's what it sounds like. So that was his raw deal. He does speak about rights or something in there. It's crazy. Anyways, that song, it's got a lot of fucking wailing on it. It's just written by Rob and Glenn Tipton. And he does some little wow, 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 you know, kind of like some Stevie Vai shit. I will tell you, Rob hits the last line. It's fucking crazy. Here comes the tears. Ugh. Kind of boring. It's got some acoustic, but then it kind of goes into this kind of montage where it's like an opera almost, you know. It's all over the fucking place. Glenn's playing is fucking great on this song, but it's fucking boring. Lyrically, it's empty-headed, and it just kind of repeats "Here Come the Tears" like 100 million times. So not one of my favorites. And then, of course, we have Dissident Aggressor. And everybody's like, did Slayer cover that? I don't give a fuck if Slayer covered my asshole. Fuck Slayer. I'm not a huge fucking Slayer fan. Got all the shit. I don't mind putting them on, but KK helped write this song. So the 3 songs that KK actually had a hand in writing were Starbreaker, Let Us Break Off with the Priest, and Dissident Aggressor. Is this like the birth of fucking thrash metal? Because this song is fucking, you know, where he's like, Grand Canyons, you know. Stab, ball, punch, call. You know, I know what I am. I'm Berlin. What the fuck does that mean? I know what I am. I'm Berlin. You're Berlin? It probably had something to do with Nazis or something. I'm not sure. It's a fucking great fucking Judas Priest song. Old school fucking Judas Priest song. Go listen to Sin After Sin. My version has the Run with the Devil, which is a cover tune from this British band called The Gun. And it's kind of cool, but the only weird thing is when they remastered this in 01, I don't know who the fuck remastered Judas Priest albums, but when they remastered it in 01, they tacked on 2 tracks. They tacked on I gotta bring it back up because I closed it. Oh, Sin After Sin. Race with the Devil, which was a track from The Gun, but that was recorded on the fucking Stained Class session. So why wasn't it on fucking Stained Class? Mystifying. And then they do Jawbreaker live from a fucking show from 1984 at the Long Beach Arena. Those are the 2 fucking bonus tracks. I don't know who the fuck was tacking on bonus tracks for this fucking album, but it's like, dude, for one, can you put something from that era of the band? And why would you tack on a cover tune that they did for the next album? Just put it on the next album. Just don't give us bonus tracks. How about that? I mean, these 2 bonus tracks are totally throwaway. I mean, I don't mind Race with the Devil. It's kind of a fun song, but it's not like fucking mind-blowing. But overall, like, this is, like I said, one of my least favorite original Priest albums. It ranks higher than Rock-a-Rolla, but it doesn't rank higher than anything from the original Priests. That was, like, or at least the classic Priest, up to, like, fucking Defenders of the Faith kind of. But Sinner's amazing, Diamonds of Rust, Starbreaker, and fucking Dissident Aggressor. Those are all fucking amazing. Simon Phillips is fucking amazing on this fucking album. Can you imagine if they would have got Simon Phillips? Maybe they wouldn't have fucking dissed your drummers every fucking 10 minutes, But yeah, that's the album of this episode. Go out and listen to fucking Sin After Sin and tell me what you think about it. I'm gonna put a fucking album on every episode. I'm just gonna pick random fucking albums because I love to do that. And that's what I do anyways on a daily basis. I always pick some fucking random album that I haven't heard in fucking forever. And I'm like, let's go check that out. Everybody stay metal. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave fucking comments. Yeah. Have a great day.